This is a giant African snail. They can get up to over 2 pounds, and they're full of delicious, slimy protein.
Ghana is a country that eats outside the box.
Is this illegal or not?
Those are not allowed.
Wow.
Last time, Chef Abby and I traveled from the coast to the city of Kumasi, where we explored a bushmeat market, selling everything from bush cat to giant rodents known as grass cutters.
Are there any limits to what people should be able to kill and eat?
There's no restrictions. We can eat any of them.
But as animal populations dwindle in order to meet consumer demand, perhaps these plump, juicy snails offer a solution.
Whoa!
Today, I'm on a mission to explore Ghana's giant snail farms. Farms that are generating sustainable protein that could one day replace bushmeat.
That is massive. I can't believe how big these things can get.
And by the end of this video, I'll sit down to try a bowl of green soup. A soup filled with snail slime and the biggest snails you'll find in Africa.
Oh my God! I thought mine was big. That's huge!
But first, Abby and I have come to a local snail farm. What's being produced here could one day be replicated on a massive scale. But before we learn how the farm works, the farmer's sister is treating us to a small appetizer.
What is it that inspired you to want to own your own snail farm?
Haira is a nurse by day, but she's got bigger dreams, looking to follow in her brother's footsteps by diving into the world of snail farming.
They are very nutritious and it's far better than meat.
To prepare the dish, Haira starts by extracting the snails from their shells.
When it rains, you see them around the house.
Oh, just wild ones?
Yeah, you see people going around picking them.
You're saying if it rains now, the snails are coming out?
Yeah.
Where are they hiding? I'm freaked out.
When you take it out from the shells, you can keep the slime. It's very good for the immune system.
I'm sorry, keep the slime?
Yeah.
I knew this was going to be a special episode.
We'll save the slime for later. But first, the snails are marinated with salt, pepper, and Maggi bouillon. Next, they're skewered with onions before making their way to the grilling station.
We eat snails a lot, especially towns like this.
Is this something that you had as a child?
Yeah, I've had snails my whole life.
Once they're perfectly grilled, they're hit with a sprinkle of kebab seasoning.
Oh, wow.
That's hard.
Uh-oh. It tastes like wet soil. I've never had a snail like this in my life.
Does it taste good?
I like it. I'm coming around. The kebab seasoning adds a lot of spice to it.
Yeah.
It's warm, it's salty, but man, the fragrance of that snail, it's like nothing I've ever had before. It reminds me of being a child when it rains and you just smell like that fresh smell of wet soil, the minerality of that soil. All that flavor is concentrated right here in the snail. And so I like that as a smell, but as something that I'm biting on, it's a new experience.
Snail consumption in Ghana traces its roots back to pre-colonial times, with ethnic groups like the Akan, Ashanti, and Fante integrating snails into their diets and cultural traditions.
You know, in an African home, having snail is like really ideal. Or maybe when on your bed, your mom can just make some soup for you. You should be lucky.
On your birthday, you say?
Yeah, you should be happy to have snail in your food.
Today, the demand for snails has soared so much that many forward-thinking entrepreneurs have ventured into the slimy world of snail farming.
Do people have a preference between the farm-raised or the wild snails?
Farm raised is better
Why is it better?
because of the food that they feed them.
So listen, that's why we're here today. I've never been to a snail farm before. I didn't even know this was something that existed. It's something that's fairly prevalent and becoming more prevalent in Ghana.
Remember the snail slime that she saved earlier? Well, that's going to be the scary star ingredient for our upcoming dish. But before we dive into that gooey mess, I want to learn how snail farms work.
Are these like old freezers or refrigerators?
And who knows, maybe I'll form a connection and start my own snail farm.
It's old fridges.
So is this on?
No,
So how
it's
is it keeping
old.
it
It's
cool?
not working.
They're not raising penguins.
This farm raises 3 types of snails. The most common is the giant tiger snail, which we ate this morning. The biggest and most profitable is the giant West African snail. We'll be seeing those soon, but right now, I'm holding a giant East African snail.
That looks actually cute.
Snails are so weird because you kind of know they're comfortable because they extend their eyeballs all the way out. And they can't really see unless their eyeballs are fully extended. So right now, he's very comfortable with me. He or she. Is there a boy or a girl? How do you tell?
How do you know?
Are you looking for private parts for real?
Yeah.
Much like the snails on this farm, most land snails are hermaphrodites, meaning they possess both male and female reproductive organs.
They're the original non-binaries.
Every 2 to 3 months, the snails hold an awkward party where they inseminate each other. It honestly sounds like a blast. Then when the time comes,
So what?
they lay clutches of eggs in the soil.
Whoa, they look like little bird eggs.
Each clutch can contain anywhere from 30 to 500 eggs, and it takes about 2 to 4 weeks for the eggs to incubate and hatch.
So this egg will eventually become this snail.
Yeah.
Within a year of munching on eggshells and moringa leaves, the snails will reach maturity, ready to either start the whole process again or end up as someone's dinner at the market.
The kebab, that was just the beginning. But my understanding is you're gonna whip up something for us very special.
Yeah.
Can you look like you're not in pain? Like stop looking like you wanna leave so bad?
I'm okay, let's do it.
But before we get to that snail meal, including snail slime, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp.
Procrastination, the sneaky productivity killer. You know that little voice that convinces you to clean your fridge instead of starting that big project? We've all been there. I once spent an entire afternoon doom scrolling social media instead of going for a run. And when I say once, I mean this has happened several times. But what if I told you there's a way to outsmart procrastination? Introducing the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with licensed therapists who are pros at tackling procrastination. These folks are super qualified and have years of experience helping people to overcome the various issues that affect us, including that incredibly human urge to put things off. Instead of falling down that social media rabbit hole, you can be ticking boxes off your to-do list, giving yourself that incredible feeling of completion. Getting started with BetterHelp is easy. Just fill out a quick questionnaire to match with a therapist who fits your needs and preferences. You can talk to them via phone, video, or messages, whatever works best for you. And if you're not vibing with your therapist, switching is easy and it comes at no additional cost. So if you're ready to kick procrastination to the curb and start some new positive habits today, visit betterhelp.com/besteverfood and use the code BestEverFoodReviewShow to get a special discount on your first month of therapy. Let me be the first push that gets you started. Stop procrastinating and go to betterhelp.com/besteverfood. Now, back to the show.
I know you're looking forward to seeing me consume that snail slime, but how about starting with an appetizer? Made by cooking the snails together with onions, a bit of salt, Maggi bouillon, pepper, and water. Boil the mixture until the snails are thoroughly cooked, then finish by deep frying.
In coming to Ghana and knowing that we were going to do this video, one of the big questions I had was, why are people eating this snail?
You know snails is really rich in iron, and iron is good for pregnant women. So when you take it, traditionally, it makes the baby rotate well.
It makes it rotate. Is that good? How much should the baby be rotating?
Don't know.
This flavorful dish is paired with a spicy paste made from chili pepper and onions. On the side, deep fried yam.
You're a chef.
Yeah.
How often are you cooking with snails?
When I shoot some of my recipes, I use snails sometimes.
She steamed it first, that makes sense, and then she fried it so that the outside is kind of crispy. Do we put the sauce on the snail?
Yes, so
All
you can just dip it in.
Let's try it.
Really hard.
That's a tough snail.
But that's good, the pepper is really nice.
Yeah, but the star is supposed to be the snail. The difficulty, I think, in working with snails is that it's such a dense, tough, hard meat. You have to be careful when you cook it. And so I think when she's fried it, she's actually made them even more tough. But it still has an insanely distinctive flavor to me. Do you know what this tastes like to me? A bucket of fresh rainwater. Let's talk about this right here. She's made it into a stew. It includes snail slime as a key ingredient.
Really?
Yeah, the slime, it's in there.
For our second dish, the snails are fried then set aside to cool. Meanwhile, onions are prepared, chili peppers are minced, and tomatoes are sliced. Now for the assembly. Put all the ingredients back into the oily snail frying pot. Then add the fifth element, the superfood among superfoods, snail slime.
Are there health benefits?
The snail slime, use it for medicine or some kind of cream for your face.
My wife makes me put serum on my face.
What if that's snail slime?
I think it might be in there.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit slimy.
Next, add some Maggi bouillon. Then finally, add the fried snails back into the pot.
To eat with this, we have Kenkey.
Kenkey is a traditional carbohydrate dish made of corn dough that's been fermented for a few days before being wrapped up using corn husks, then steamed.
Now, I had a different type of Kenkey the other day. This is called fancy Kenkey.
Yeah.
And what is the big difference?
The Kenkey that you had is wrapped with corn husk. This is wrapped with plantain leaves or banana leaves.
I'm sure the plantain leaves are imparting so much flavor through the plastic. It is sticky on the outside, it's dense, and that is the corn flour. That's gonna be our vehicle for these snail flavors. So I think we should not even get the snail first. I want to just have the sauce because that sauce should be infused with snail slime.
That tastes so good.
I like it. Spicy, very tomatoey. You taste any slime?
No, No, it just tastes like stew.
It just tastes like stew. I like the Kenkey. It's just like a nice, hard carbohydrate ball that you can pile different sauces and toppings onto. The only thing left to do is really pile a whole snail on top of there.
This is softer.
Much better.
This is good.
This is the best snail experience so far today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the fried one was almost uneatable.
Exactly, I don't like it.
The first one is maybe like a drinking food. If some drunk guys want to gnaw on something meaty, but here, it's much softer. I would say it's almost akin to the texture of an abalone, something like that. Then all that rainwater, fresh garden rain flavor, it's kind of been diluted. Now it's just absorbed the flavor of the sauce. It's just tomato and spice. I like this.
Very, very good.
From the farm, the fully grown snails head to the massive local market in Kumasi. This is our next destination, and I'm on a mission to find the absolute biggest snails in this country that I'll soon be consuming in an epic snail dish. Kejetia Market, the largest single market in West Africa, boasts over 10,000 stores and stalls. Pretty much anything is on the table. You can find food, meat, vegetables. Last time we were here, we even found bushmeat. But today, it's all about the snails.
We have Boahemaa in front of us, snail expert, snail seller, all things snail. Ma'am, it's nice to meet you.
Ma, I said it's nice to meet you.
I think I woke her up. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Chamibi.
Oh, well, that was a much more stylish handshake than mine.
For over 50 years, Boahemaa has been selling snails. She gets her supply directly from farmers and sells them here day in and day out.
I spoke earlier in the video that these snails can get up to over 2 pounds in weight.
Like we saw at the farm, this here is a giant West African snail, but even bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Can I touch
Are you gonna, yeah, you're trying to, you just touched its eye.
And they can actually get even bigger than this.
Whoa! This is probably the biggest shell. Now, there's no more snail in there, but you can see it's about 20 to 30% bigger.
These snails can be sold for up to $2 a pound, almost double the price of chicken or pork.
If you're not selling all these in a day, how long can you keep them alive?
a month?
A month?
Yeah.
With demand continually rising, snails are likely to get more and more expensive.
What is the biggest thing that's changed in the snail industry in the last 50 years? I imagine it's a slow-moving industry. Get it?
Except from that time, people didn't really consume snails that much. Now she makes more money than she used to make it.
And why does she think that is?
Because of doctors around telling us the health benefits of it, people actually like come for the snail water.
Snail water?
It's blue in color, it's really nutritious too. People come for that blue water just to treat whatever sickness they have.
Snail water.
Yeah, water.
Soon I'll be trying the famous local green stew that's caused demand for snails to soar.
The final boss. It doesn't get more snaily than this.
But before that, a new type of snail preparation, only for the bold.
This is a whole branch, a stick full of dried snails. Now, is this a different species?
Actually the same thing here. They actually take it out, roast it, let it stay for a while, and then they sell. She said this can last for over a year.
I believe it. I mean, it's like a rock.
Normally we use this for soup.
Oh.
It tastes so good with soup.
Ma'am, do you want to try some with us? Oh, cheers.
Can you chew that? She said you don't just go straight ahead and chew it.
You have to rehydrate it.
Yeah.
I was hoping to make it a quick experience. It's a powerful flavor. It's pungent, very seafoody, kind of stinky, almost cheesy. And then the more you rehydrate it with your own spit, kind of the worse it gets. Like it tastes more and more intense by the moment. That's good.
High five.
Can I do a cool high five?
Yeah.
Now that we've bought the biggest snails we can find, there's only one thing left to do. Find a place to cook these guys up. Deep in the market, you'll find traditional eateries known as chop bars. Spots like these serve local recipes to hungry patrons looking for a break between shopping sprees.
We have reached level 10 snail. What do you call this?
Abunuabunu, but in English we call it green soup.
First, the snails are freed from their shells. Then they're thoroughly washed and boiled just enough to extract their prized slime, which is set aside for later use. In a pot, turkey berries, scotch bonnet peppers, onions, tomatoes, and cacayam leaves are added and boiled until everything softens into a delightful mess. This mixture is blended until smooth. With the preparation complete, it's time to cook. Pork skin, fried fish, that blended vegetable mix, mushrooms, the slimy water that was used to boil the snails. Yes, it's also used in this recipe. The actual snails themselves, more fried fish, okra, and a locally grown gem called Aden fruit are thrown in together.
When you're making soup like this and you don't add this, it's not complete. This is Aden fruits.
I've never heard of it.
Welcome to Ghana.
Thank you. I feel very welcome. I've been here for over a week.
Next, some blended cocoyam leaves join the mix, turning the whole pot into a vibrant green hue. But this dish isn't complete without a carbohydrate component. Introducing Fufu.
Allow me to introduce you to one of the coolest carbohydrates you will find in Ghana.
Fufu is a labor of love with an emphasis on labor. First, both the cassava and the plantain are peeled. Then they're steamed together until soft. When they're done cooking, separate the two carbohydrates and start pounding on the plantain.
Check it out, let me hear your shout. When your shouts in the snare beat.
You have one person pounding and one person manipulating the dough below.
After the plantain is thoroughly pummeled, it's set aside and replaced with cassava.
This absolute specimen of a man right here, I saw working all day just doing this one repeated action over and over and over. Mind you, this is not light. This weighs 20, 25 pounds down below. This woman's putting in the cassava. Soon she'll be putting in plantain and mixing the two and making sure not to get her hand broken in the process. This one? Ah. I'm helping. So now we're putting in a plantain ball. Now they're all gonna become one unit. Oh, Jesus. What do you think? Good?
That's right. Thank you.
After attempting to do that for 30 seconds, I am much more impressed by this process.
When the pounding is complete, the two starches merge into one glossy mochi-like entity, forming the base for our green soup.
Right here in front of us, the final boss. Let's go for it.
Do your hands like this.
Yeah.
Straight into the soup. Then you want to cut the fufu.
Oh.
And then you create like a hole in the middle. Then you fetch the soup.
Wow.
So you don't chew fufu, you swallow.
But how do you enjoy it in your mouth?
No, I just swallow it.
I want to enjoy the flavor.
No, you don't have to.
Here's what I don't like. Can I start with that?
You can, why not?
Yeah, all the random fish bones in there.
Yeah, I get it.
It kind of ruins the nice
Yeah,
velvety
that's
texture.
Swallow. You're chewing. Swallow. You're chewing.
The texture, it is hard to pin down. It's soft, it's velvety, it's smooth. It's very unlike any type of American food. Oh, is it mushroom? What kind of mushroom is this?
This is a locally grown mushroom.
Is this gonna make me see things?
Maybe.
I hope so. It's a very good mushroom, very dense, very meaty. The soup itself is smoky, I think from the smoked fish they put in there, and savory, and it's got some nice spice to it. Now, this is very different from other things I've had, because I've had a lot of stews that were thick, but this is just a very thin soup.
This should be really light.
I understand, but the challenge here is I don't have a spoon.
This is a magic.
Alas, I think we should build up to this right here. These are some pretty fat snails. They're oh my God. I thought mine was big. That's huge. Well, I like your passion. I like it.
I think this is the best way to eat snails.
They're the softest snails we've had today.
Yeah.
This tastes different from any other snail I've had in my life. That super fresh rain, soil, pond, bog, muddy, algae kind of flavor.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. But the more I eat it, the more I'm getting used to it. I don't dislike it. It's just something so new.
Green soup is really expensive. We don't really eat it so much.
And so will people come to chop bars like this and order this food?
Yes, I do all the time.
I'm surprised people would come here for something expensive.
We don't mind the location. We can eat anywhere we want to.
You know, when we started this video, my idea was that maybe snail farms are gonna be the solution to bushmeat. But then I got here and I learned that people aren't that worried about the sustainability of bushmeat. And so I don't think this is gonna replace bushmeat at all. But I had a new idea today. I think that snail farms could inspire a new generation of sustainable meat production here in Ghana. That could come in the form of more snail farms, but it could also come in the form of grass cutter farms too. You said grass cutters are some of the most popular
Bushmeat here in Ghana.
and when I was in Nigeria, they have them there with a controlled environment and they're making money from it. You guys already have. You have pig farmers here. You have lots of chickens or cattle farmers. Goat,
We have all that.
sheep.
Yeah.
Why not more snails? And why not maybe some grass cutters?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I tried.
I don't know how one man is just going to change their mind. Maybe in the next 10 years, Ghanaians could go more into snail farming. We've learned how nutritious they are. We've learned how economical they could be. And I think snail farming is not hard. You can like easily grow and then make your snail farm. Let's go for it.
Oh, should we go into business together?
I wouldn't mind.
I do an investment?
We share.
Can I own 51%?
No.
Okay, how much do you think it would be to start a snail farm?
Maybe 10,000.
Wait, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I paid twice that for the hotel this morning.
Hungry for more fun food videos? Join me at More Best Ever Food Review Show, a channel that's unfiltered, raw, half quality and twice the fun.
Could you walk away and come back? Oh, look, the server.
Subscribe now and you probably won't regret it.
I'm so sorry, I have eyelash. Oh,
Sorry. The KHEBAB enter.
no, I'm good now. Can we keep this up? Could you come around here? Oh, nice. Oh. 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 There you go. I haven't seen a single white person since I came to Ghana. This morning in the mirror, that was it.
Do you want to show us the feces?
Do you want to show us the feces? Is that what you just asked?
That's what she was about to do.
Oh, you're gonna grab some feces?
Yeah.
Please, yeah, go ahead. Oh no, that's the snail water. I'm starting to think that's snail piss.
Yeah.
Another step critical to making this dish is the sound he makes with each thrust. Oh, when I started, he stopped. Oh, he came back. Do you think it's a good idea for me to smell it? I can't smell anything. Give it a
How
shot.
do you do that? Why do you close one nose?
For certain things, if you smell them, it helps to do that.
It smells like nothing.
Boom, that is the end of video number 4 here in Kumasi, here in Ghana. I want to say a huge thank you to Chef Abby for joining me today. Quick handshake. Abby, what do you think about this snail video?
Oh, I loved it. It was amazing.
You can find Chef Abby on all the social media platforms. Right here is her handle. You can find her on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, showing Ghanaian food and African food to the world. Otherwise, that is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Peace.
Oh, I got that.
Hey, yeah, you whispered. That's nice. All right, bye. Is there a toilet in this place?